Hello, this is CJ Ferry from Spindle City Straight Talk. And I'm going to give you a commentary today in regards to the Great Feast of the Holy Ghost, otherwise known as the Great Scam. Your city tax dollars are paying for this event to happen in Fall River. No other nonprofit organization in Fall River gets away with not paying for anything. The Great Scam doesn't pay for police, fire, EMS, food service licenses, food inspections, electrical inspections, gas inspections, building inspections. They pay for nothing, all costing you, the taxpayer, money. Now, the Great Scam is also classified by their own filings with the IRS as a religious organization. And the city to be supporting a religious organization is a violation of the First Amendment, the Establishment Clause, and also violates Massachusetts Constitution, which says that no state, county, or municipal government shall endorse, support, or grant funds to any religious organization. But in Fall River, that doesn't apply. Now, many of you may remember that earlier this year during the budget time, the City Council cut the overtime budget to the police, the fire, totaling over $1 million. The Great Feast of the Holy Ghost, at the last look at the books for the City of Fall River Police Department, showed over $30,000 in police overtime spent by the city to support the Great Scam of the Holy Ghost. When you look at their 990 filings, they say that they're spending money on scholarships. But when you look at it, when you see that they've got revenue of over $200,000, over $100,000 is being spent on parties for the committee, the volunteers, and themselves, and have huge bar bills. That's where your money is going. According to the 2015 filing of 990, they gave away $2,500 in scholarship money. $2,500 out of over $200,000. They request volunteers to come in to help them out, to raise this money. They stand on the fact that they're a 501c3 nonprofit because they're a religious organization, which means the city cannot fund them. On August 8th of 2017, this year, the city of Fall River was served notice by Americans United for the Separation of Church and State that if they're going to continue this practice, the practice must be spread to all bodies. Everybody that wants to throw an event in a park, anyone that wants to throw an event in the city, won't have to pay for police, fire, DCM, any of that. Or the Great Feast has to pay for it, or the Great Scam, as I like to call them. That's the option. And this mayor, as previous mayors have done as well, has not collected the money. The Fall River Police Department's budget has been cut back on overtime, but $30,000 plus in overtime is going to be spent on the Great Scam. The Great Scam results in delayed response times for police, fire, and EMS because they have to redirect around the Great Scam. It results in more crime because there's more robberies, assaults, and drunken disorderlies at the Great Scam. And those all cost the city money. This year, this mayor is taking it one step further and is going to have a fireworks display at the bottom of Kennedy Park. Now, here's the problem with that. Many years ago, many of us will remember when Kennedy Park was the place to go for the 4th of July fireworks, Independence Day. But it was ruled that that was unsafe, and so they moved those fireworks to the Taunton River. Now, if that area is so unsafe, why are we now going to set off fireworks down in the lower Kennedy Park? God forbid a firework lands on a home and starts a fire, because this city will be liable for that because they were told years ago that you cannot have them there. So again, this mayor is placing the lives in jeopardy of the people who surround this firework display. So not only are we going to piss away money to support a church, we're going to increase our crime by supporting this church. We're going to increase our response times for emergencies. God forbid you have a heart attack and you're in an area where they had to redirect the EMS and they can't get to you until you're dead. And you're paying for this. You, the taxpayer, are paying for this. Is this what you want your tax dollars to go for? And remember, our police department is already strapped. When a call comes in and it requires police officers to respond, 2, sometimes 3 cruisers have to respond for the safety of the officers and the people involved, which means that there are 2 other sectors, 1 or 2 other sectors, which do not have coverage. If a major catastrophe occurs in Fall River, the problem that we have is that fire, that police all have to go there, which leaves the city open to the criminal element. The city should be sure to collect the money spent for this great scam from them. They have the money. And if they don't, then they've got to stop this great scam. This cannot keep continuing. This has happened for over 30 years. And just in police overtime, figure that out, $30,000 a year for 30 years. That's $900,000. That's almost $1 million just in police overtime. Let's not include DCM at this point, because when DCM, formerly the Department of Public Works, goes to clean the streets for the processions, which cause more traffic jams and more delays in emergency response times, it creates a serious issue. Now, I know people say, well, it's a great little event, there's music, there's food, there's celebration, and that's fine. But let them pay their own way. When you have other organizations in this city which have to pay for police and fire and inspectional services, sometimes time and a half because it's on a holiday. But this great scam doesn't have to? What favoritism does this mayor have to show to these people? What favoritism has been shown by other mayors for this process? And don't give me that this is a past practice, because any act that is illegal on its face is not a past practice. And funding a church, which the city of Fall River is currently doing, is not a past practice. It is illegal. It is a violation of the Establishment Clause of the First Amendment of the Constitution. This city was already placed on notice. Now, what can happen with that is this. If America's United decide that they want to take the city to court, this mayor, this corporate council, this city council would have placed us in a position where we, the taxpayer, not only have to pay for the great scam, but we have to pay the legal defense of the city, which we will most likely lose. And the city knows this. And if the corporate council doesn't realize that, he should have never been a judge. This is what's happened to Fall River. The people of Fall River are so desperate for anything, they'll grasp at straws. But we who have half a sense of intelligence, those of you who are listening to this commentary, know that it is wrong to support a religious organization or church with tax dollars. And that's what this mayor and previous mayors and this city council is doing. They are supporting a religious organization. They are supporting a church. They are endorsing it by paying their way, by paying their bills. I think our Fall River Police Department can use $30,000 that they have to spend at the great scam. And the great scam should have to pay that $30,000, just like they should have to pay every other fee. The city says that, well, that's generating tourism. That's bringing tourism into the city. No, it's not. There are a lot of people who come in, but they don't spend money here. As a matter of fact, some businesses in that area shut down because they don't want the headaches. And the neighbors of that area are totally upset. They don't want that. They don't want to know about it. They don't want to hear it. They don't want to see it. They want nothing to do with it. And if they can't handle that, there's nothing I can tell you. Talk to your mayor, talk to your city council, and tell them, put a stop to this great scam. or at least tell them, make them pay their own way. I'm CJ Ferry. Have a great day.